You're listening to Game and Chat, where we level up with conversations about gaming then and now. I'm your host, Daniel, aka One to Switcheroo. So let's press start and game on. Welcome everyone to another episode of Game and Chat, streamed directly to your favorite podcast platform. Be sure to like, subscribe, follow, or all of the above to support the cause. And with that being said, it is time for episode 12. People, welcome back. It is another one, another special one. And we are here to get started. So thank you very much for joining me. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been 1 year since the release of Super Mario Bros. Wonder, and we are going to talk about how wonderful of a year it has been since this game came out, and like how it really was a breath of fresh air for all Mario fans and 2D Mario fans in general that were clamoring for a new take on the 2D formula, and how this really scratched that back really good. So we're gonna get things started. Of course, it has been an amazing joy to play this game, and I already beat it twice, maybe. One on my Switch and one helping my husband's save file. And even today, when I'm about to record, I just started to play a little bit just to get like a little bit on the mood for it. And it's just a joy. It just puts a smile on my face every single time I play. And I cannot wait to share my thoughts on how beautiful and amazing this game is. But before we do, let's talk a little bit of what I've been playing this week. And that, my friends, has been Zelda Echoes of Wisdom. I actually finished the game, and I finished it in maybe 3-4... No, actually, that's not right. I finished up over the course of a week because I had to work. My husband finished it probably like a day before I did, which is very rare in our household. But he enjoyed the game, coming from the casual Zelda fandom perspective. He really enjoyed the game, and I had a single blast every second of it. Yes, of course, there's a few things here and there that could have been addressed better. Looking at you, menu of the Echoes, which is, oh my god, so tedious after a while. But other than that, it's been a wonderful experience, and what an introduction to an actual Zelda game, with Zelda being the protagonist. It could have been a better way. I really enjoy it, and I kind wait to give it another run in a few months. It's gonna be like brand new because, maybe I'll approach it with different Echoes than the ones that I used before, and that's gonna be very interesting to try that out. But anyway, Zelda Echoes of Wisdom, awesome game, and I kind of wait for you guys to experience it. So please, if you haven't picked up this game, please pick it up. It will really scratch your itch on 2D Zelda, and it's really up there in terms of 2D Zelda games for me. It's too early to rank. We'll do a ranking video or podcast eventually, but right now it's standing pretty high, I'll tell you that much. But anyway, back to the subject and matter. We are talking about Super Mario Bros. Wonder and his first anniversary. Our thoughts, our memories, our experiences will be shared right now on new episode of Game and Chat, episode 12, A Year of Wonder in the Flower Kingdom. And of course, we're gonna get things started with how suddenly out of nowhere on last year, I believe it was on the June Nintendo Direct, the one that will occupy the E3 slot, quote unquote, we got hit with that announcement at the very end that a new 2D Mario game was coming after 10 years, and we're not counting the re-release of New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe on the Switch, because of course that was a port of a game that is also 10 years old now. That's crazy how old it is, and how even so, when you think about it, we've been holding on to this style since so much far back. That is insane to think that we were on that art style for so long, since the very beginnings of the DS with New Super Mario Brothers, and then transition to the Wii, and then the transition to the Wii U, and so on and so on. And listen, for all it's worth, it really hold its ground. Like, this game was really an evolution from what 2D Mario used to mean for us. And we really need to appreciate that, because if it wasn't for the success of the new Super Mario series, we wouldn't be gotten this gem of Mario Wonder today. So appreciation where it needs to be. It really did a good job transitioning the 2D in a 3D sort of space, and how great that was. But of course, I guess they rely a little bit on it, a little too much, and we got stuck with it for like more than 10 years now, until we finally got the release of the trailer of Mario Wonder. And seeing that first caption of Mario just walking into this very vibrant world, pop of color, and then you hear the talking flowers saying upward and onward, I think it is, and it introduces you to this world. It was just amazing. I remember smiling for the whole length of the trailer, and just like many of us, we weren't sure about the talking flowers at first. We'll get into the talking flowers in a little bit, but you know, it was kind of like a mix. Like, wow, it's something new, it's something vibrant. And you see how the trailer was like focusing like the character expression, something that the new Mario series was lacking like crazy. And you know, it was pretty, yes, and fun, but I feel like it would lack a personality a little bit. And yes, you see that the Koopas were dancing every so on, but I think it wasn't even enough, especially because we've been seeing this for such a long time. And the fact that the first thing that we got like on screen is how expressful Mario is, the design of the characters in general, how like reminiscent of like previous art styles, and you know, small things like from him like going into a pipe to like crouching to the Goombas reacting on your proximity and when they're about to be like killed or something. It's just amazing. And then the whole Wonder Flower segment, when everything starts going crazy and how everything was going to start to like change based off the level that you're playing, it was just great to see. And just that the expectation of it, this is just the first level, what else this Wonder Flower would do. And it sure did a lot of havoc throughout the game, I'll tell you that much. But looking back and like, you know, even beyond the new series, like, you know, how we started with the first NES Mario, how just the side-scrolling gameplay back in the 80s was such a revolutionary thing. And with the catchy soundtrack and tunes that made the experience even more memorable. And, you know, as the series kept evolving, you know, Super Mario 3, my favorite one, and then Super Mario World, which was a pivotal moment in the 2D space, you know. We're talking about the 2D, of course. The transition to 3D is based on the 2D aspect as well, but we're gonna focus on the 2D games right now. I feel like other than the re-release of Super Mario Bros. Deluxe on the NES that had like the better graphics, which enhanced a little bit the experience, after that, then we jump into the DS era with the new series, and you know, it's like Mario 2D but 3D also. It's kind of confusing, but it was such a wonderful time to live for, especially myself, that I didn't have the opportunity to own a DS, the first DS console that came out, so I didn't have a chance to play new Super Mario Brothers when it came out. I should play it on an emulator, and I was just like impressed of like how well it looked. Which, looking now, it doesn't look as great, but you know, it's just, you know, the excitement of the moment, the technology of the moment, things were advancing like crazy, and even today they're advancing even more faster than it should. So that brings us up today, and I feel like Mario Wonder for me is more of a mix between it's like if new Super Mario Brothers and Mario World had a baby. It has all the good qualities of the 2D gameplay of the new Super Mario series, but the vibrant colors and world and personality that Super Mario World brought to the table, which already back in the day for a 2D game on a 16-bit console was unbelievable to see. But then now being that translated into today with this game, it's just unbelievable. And you can tell how fun these people, the creators, the designers, the developers had with this game. and the making. And even so, when they when we look back into the I think it was Gamescom or what some conference that they kind of show a little bit early footage of the game and how the ideas came to be with the wonder flower effects and all that, as you can tell how much of fun and creativity was brought to the table. And well, so many things that could have been really good, they were left behind. Who knows, maybe we'll get a sequel, and I really hope so, because this game deserves a second iteration. We know it's not going to happen for DLC, but a second iteration is way overdue if happening. So I really hope Wario Wonder 2 is in the work. But it's just that breath of fresh air and nostalgia that this brought on a much needed time after so many years. And you know, being Mario Odyssey, the last Mario game that we got in 2017, and we're still waiting for that next iteration of 3D Mario, especially because Mario Odyssey set the bar really high. And I feel like Super Mario Bros. Wonder like matched that bar on the 2D space. And I cannot wait to see how even this evolution keeps going in the near future, I dare to say. But now let's talk about a little bit of what this game brought to the table. And I did mention this already briefly, but let's try to expand a little bit on like how this game, already from the start of the trailer, of the first trailer, we knew it was going to be something special. And you know, all the gameplay mechanics that came back and made this new Super Mario Bros. Series great came back. I would say the only one that really hurts that did not come back was the triple jump, at least not specifically in the way that it was supposed to be. I mean, we did get the triple jump badge eventually in the game, but it's not the same, you know. But, you know, we had the running features, we had the little twirl. I feel like if they would take that little twirl that keeps you in the air for like half a second, would have been deadly. But all those mechanics and features that were featured in previous games are in this game, and how they reworked them, and then they added the badge system, which again we're going to touch base in a little bit, really took this to a whole new level. Of course, the power-ups, we're going to talk about the power-ups a little bit. First and foremost, I'm sure you heard this joke a lot, the elephant in the room is the elephant Mario, and the elephant power-up in general. And how that was, you know, very odd looking, I would say, at first to see. But then it basically became the mascot and the highlight of the game. I will say, though, I'm on the team that maybe that power-up, you know, it was a little bit more of a publicity move. I do see the usefulness of it. I mean, we had better powers, absolutely. We have better powers in this game, absolutely. The elephant is just cute, and you know, all the things that you can do, like moving the trunk to break the blocks, and how you can like spray water from it and all that. It's just cute. It's just cute. I mean, I have my Elephant Mario here plushie on my desktop, so I love the elephant. Don't get me wrong. It's just that like as a power up, of course, it doesn't rank as high as like other powers that Mario has had before. But I mean, that's only the power that we got. We also got the bubbles, which I happen to like a lot. My absolute favorite, though, I think in the game would be like the drill one, just so because it's so fast that you can just drill in the ground and drill up on the ceiling if you jump high enough. And how that actually allowed me to find most of the secrets of this game, which has a lot of secrets, by the way. If you haven't completed, be sure to really check your floors and check your ceilings. You might be missing out on something. But all these powers really set it apart. And of course, along with the classic ones, I believe the only classic one would be like the Fire Flower is the only one that came back, to be completely honest. And the Star, of course, because you can't be 2D Mario game without Power Star power-up. That would be a crime. And how all these levels were like craftably designed for these powers to really take their center stage. Even the elephant, I would say, they really thought about these levels, and you can tell that they took inspiration a lot from Mario Maker, and they did mention this on their conference, that they showed up the game a little bit in the early stages and how they were inspired by the crazy creations people who come up with Mario Maker. I mean, I would know for sure. I do Mario Maker streams every week, and I go crazy. And I still, up to this day, I cannot believe the things that come up out of people's minds on that game. Mostly for fun, mostly to rage, but amazing nonetheless. And I feel they took that up to mind when making this game, and they really took it up to a kind of like a self-contained Mario Wonder Maker that you cannot edit, but you get the feeling that it is, you know. And you see this more so on the stages, like the break times and like the search party, and even the bus rush. Not bus rush, but the ones that you can need to kill the enemies on a certain amount of time. You can see how the inspiration came to be, and you know, it's great, it's amazing, and how really well done it is. And of course, the other main thing of this game, which is the Wonder Flower and all the wonder effects that came to be. And you know, we're talking about from the pipes to moving around to changing the perspective from 2D to like top down, falling off on a free fall and like control your fall in order to catch the Wonder Seed, and so many cool ones, especially towards the end of the game. I'll keep it spoiler free, but towards the end of the game, there's one of my absolute favorite ones, and it's a callback to Super Mario 64. I'm gonna leave it there. You guys will see when you play it, but it is the moment I grab it and I started walking around, and even with the sound effects I added to it, I was so happy. And you know, this game has a lot of callbacks to previous games. You know, like I said, for me, it's like a mesh between Super Mario World and the new Super Mario Brothers series, but it has so many callbacks and, you know, little Easter eggs to other Mario games, 2D and 3D. So make sure to scoop them out as you go through your gameplay. Of course, the levels are very unique, and they're really set up as part of this game in particular, which is very hard to replicate. And you see how in Mario Maker people try just to like replicate these levels, but you can never find the same effect that Mario Wonder would do. And I would say like even like people that actually mod these games to try to create custom levels, it's kind of hard to come up with that at the moment, because of the wonder effects is so random and it involves so many stuff happening on the screen that it cannot be easy to achieve. But all the elements are surprise, and all the little things that this game like hides, from the moment you walk into the first level to then on the second level have all the piranha plants sing to you while trying to kill you, which is adorable, by the way, one of my favorite things ever. Again, I can't help but smile every single time I talk about this, and every time I play the game, it's just pure joy. And how these innovations are so much needed and so much appreciated, as so many games need to take inspiration from. And even recent games, like I would say Astro Bot, for example, took a nice approach on this, because it's not only a great platforming, the character expressions and the personality is there too. And you can tell all the people that made this game on the PlayStation look at both Mario and Mario Wonder and see like how little things, like even like I said, even Mario just like getting scared, or the Goombas or the Koopas like getting like terrified when Mario approaches them, or like find him looking at him as he gets closer. If he goes off, they keep the gaze up. Those little details can make it or break it. Ironic as it's big, it's just full of personality. And a lot of the games, a lot of modern games these days are missing that. We don't have to go for all the nitty gritty 4K, 12K graphics and the hyper realism. Sometimes it's better to reel back in a little bit and just enjoy what you're doing and express that joy through gameplay. And I feel like these two games, like Astro Bot, I mean, we're talking about Mario Wonder. Astro Bot did a good job because it probably got inspired by both Mario Odyssey and Mario Maker. Mario Odyssey and Mario Wonder. I mean, Mario Maker too, why not? And this is the result. People are reacting very positive towards this, and I feel like that's the direction that we need to go forward. It's not about graphics, and I mean, yes, don't get me wrong, we can't just put out a crappy game. Looking at you, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Fun games, don't get me wrong, but the graphics and all that is just terrible. I mean, there has to be some sort of standard. However, if you really add the personality to it, there's nothing wrong for the game to be, you know, a little bit on the simpler side. I don't mean this in a bad way. It's just a matter of think about like less is more, like focus less on like the realism and focus more on like the personality, because that's what's gonna catch us gamers on all these games. And Mario Wonder is one of those games that you will look back 10 years from now. We may have the new iteration of 2D Mario by then, but we will always remember Mario Wonder on the fact that it was the game, the first game in a while since Super Mario World, that revived the franchise like personality and like sense of joy and adventure. And it's just happy. I'm so happy to see that. I'm very happy that they listened. Although it took a little longer, it was so much worth the wait. And on that note, again, expanding a little bit on the art style and level design of this game, like how it was this, I feel like when with new Super Mario Brothers, U specifically, there was this some sort of like darker palette, like darker filter that, yes, the game was on HD, but somehow it's still like, it looked very old. I don't know how to explain it. It looked very like flat and like flaccid. I don't know if that's the right term. That was when, even when they showed the trailer, and like I said, this vivid color palette in the world, in the characters, even in underground levels, like you can see that how they took this approach of making the underground levels more of a the crystal caverns kind of things, which they had it on you, but then the color is so vibrant, and the reflections and the everything in general, like this is like really impactful for their eyes, and it makes you think how important it is to really pay attention to like color palettes and filters and designs when it comes down to making all these games. Like, you don't want to make like a Mario game to like feel like ugh, and you know, and I'm not saying that new Super Mario Brothers was like that in the beginning. We are very impressed on how those games came to be, especially when they come to the Wii for the first time, coming from the DS to the Wii. That was a huge jump, and that was amazing to see back in the day. But then if you're dragging that style for way too long and you see up to date, and even when I replay U, because there was nothing else, I was like, I mean, it's nice. Yes, I did enjoy it. I played with my husband. He enjoyed the heck out of the game. But I've been dragging along with this style. And I mean, I've been playing Mario games my whole life. So it's like, I've been like dragging on this like art style. And I was like, oh my God. It's like, I would just play 3D World to get a little kick of like vibrant colors. And 3D World is a beautiful game too. But for me, it kind of like gets stuck on the same premise. It's like very like samey. Okay, it's like a 2D but 3D. Some people put on the 3D with the 3D Marios, but for me, it's not really. For me, it's like a, I don't know. If it's point A to point B, start to finish, grab the platform, that's like a 2D Mario experience. They did it on a 3D space, that's one thing, but I don't think that will be up to par to like Mario Odyssey or Mario Galaxy or Sunshine or things like that, because the game wasn't designed like that. It was kind of like a 2D 2.5 Mario. I think it's better to address it that way. It's a 2.5 Mario game. It's not quite 2D, it's not quite 3D. I think Bowser's Fury kind of set that apart, and then it became a sort of like a 3D Mario bite-sized experience. Again, I have some thoughts on Bowser's Fury. I love the direction I just feel like the Bowser's Fury mechanic was a little bit too much. But anyway, that's gonna be another topic on its own. But back to Mario Wonder. What I'm trying to say is like all these little details, and like I mentioned in the previous section, and like how all we needed, like we don't have to reinvent the wheel. Like the 2D Mario formula is already successful, and let's be honest, like they wouldn't put another new Super Mario Brothers Wii, and we would play it, would eat of it, and we would think it was fun too. But just the fact that they took the time to like sit back and like look at these games and like how they decide to add personality and a little bit more creativity to it, and all they have to do is like revamp the colors a little bit, tweak the designs of the characters, and the visual elements to it, like the trees, the enemies reacting, and all that was previously mentioned. It was just great, and it really did the trick. I mean, it's selling really good, and I'm actually surprised they haven't bundled it yet. I know they bundle it in Australia. I don't know if the United States is going to get that Switch bundle with Mario Wonder, but it sure should. And going back to the levels, like we got all of our classic levels, but they are somehow like with a fresh coat of paint, a vibrant paint. And we have our plain World 1-1 level, which is a beautiful introduction to the game and the new mechanics. And then we jump to World 1-2, where we have the piranha plants singing, and like how like the kind of like jungly, a lot of green colors, like a lot of pop out of color, and how the piranha plants now walk and try to chase you. It's just fun. And like I said, how each level was designed for its power up and for what it's meant to be. And even for the Wonder Flowers, I would say my favorite levels in the game, let's see, I mean, I like the first one just because it's a very nice introduction to the whole thing, and I think it's like one of the most memorable things in the game. I think it's the World 1-1. It really stands out on its own, especially because you get introduced not only to the game but to the Elephant Mario power-up, which is the two main selling points of this game. And then after that, I mean, I love the Piranhas on Parade level. The second one, the Special World one, I still like, but I knew it was going to be a little difficult. I feel like that first impression, and like how cute and like nice you see the piranha plants singing and dancing. And even more so, like when you have a fire flower and then you start killing them and then they just stop singing and then the music comes. So it's kind of sad but funny at the same time. And then after that, I mean, one of my favorite ones, and one that I really jammed a lot when I got into the Sun-Baked Desert. I think that's the world level, the world name. And then you got the Ninja Jump Party, and you start with the dun 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 dun. That is so fun. And then you jump at the rhythm of the music, and you start getting points and coins, and it's simple. It's very simple level. It's very easy on paper, but that sense of happiness and joy and laughter, I don't think I will get that for anywhere else. And that comes as simply as just making a little flat level about jumping alongside the music just to get a rhythm jump badge that you barely gonna use, to be completely honest. But it's fun and it's memorable, and that's how you make things. And then if we want to look a little at the more like experienced levels, I do like the jump one, specifically the Special World version. That's the one that you're on the timer and the platforms start appearing and then they disappear for a little bit with the song there, da 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 da, and then so on, and how do I spend so much time trying to clear that out. I actually want to challenge myself and try to beat that with the invisibility badge and see if I'm able to do that. I might be able to do that on stream, actually. That sounds really fun challenge to put myself to. And of course, I have to say that the final batch run test, whatever it's called, the very end level, really broke me, but at the same time, it is one of the best final levels in any 2D Mario game. I would say even it's up there with the perfect run of Mario Galaxy 2, I'll tell you that much. And that was so satisfying how everything just came to be, especially because the level prior, which is the the Wonder Marathon, the Wonder Mix-Up, whatever, that you had all the different like Wonder effects. Wasn't as hard. Like, yeah, it's a little tricky, but then once you get it, and you're like, that's it. And then when you thought you were done, you get hit with this level, and basically you go through all your life trying to beat this damn level. And I remembered, which is funny because we spent a lot of, like, like an hour, maybe more than that. I think it took us like 2 days. We tried to beat it on my husband's file first. And then when we finally did, we missed the damn pole. So even up to this day, we didn't realize we rebooted our games for a while. And my husband already beat it twice. He has another file, and he beat it twice. And he did get it. But then we realized we were missing a badge on the like a achievement badge. You know, the badges that you put in the game to equip new movesets. But the badge that you get for like completing certain stuff, and we completely forgot that we missed the pole on the first one. So now it's like building himself up to try to beat that one more time, and this time get the pole. That game alone, that level alone, like encapsulates the entire experience, and it was the perfect cherry on top to conclude the Mario Wonder experience throughout the whole game. But all these levels, all these designs, I would say the only thing that draws back the game a little bit is like on the castles, on the main castles before you go to another world. It's like the same boss all the time, which is Bowser Jr., which is a good concept, but I would love to see all the Koopalings with the Wonder effect and how different the challenges would be. Because yes, you get Bowser Jr., and on each castle, the Wonder effect on him will do something different to the stage. However, the mechanic was the same. You need to jump on him, and then that's it. Which is with every boss and every character that you kill in this game. However, I feel like the Koopalings wouldn't add a little bit more of an extra challenge to it and a little bit more of a discussion, because in the end there's always Bowser Jr., Bowser Jr., Bowser Jr. And then you have the mini castles, which had this like whole like mechanic breathing fire Bowser that all you have to do is jump on the switch, and literally all you have to do is either run straight or take one hit, and then you hit the switch, and then that's it. So I feel like they couldn't expand there for a little longer. I think that this game was developed maybe within 3 years, maybe it was longer, but I feel like they really pulled this off. And don't get me wrong, other than that, I mean the final Bowser fight, it's amazing. And I really like the whole like rhythm thing, and it was like very like entertainment per se. That build up level getting to the final boss was also really cool too. And another level I just remember, I like the ones with the large bullet bills. I forgot, Missile Meg, is that the name? Missile Megs that go across the whole like stage, and like the whole music there is like amazing too. And then the other one that you see with the big like dragon, Yoshi like dragon, which was so cool when you see it for the first time. It's great. Like I said, I can go on and I can just like unravel and just like go over the tangent and different topics when it comes down. It's just the whole thing, like the whole experience as a package, it's just perfection. Like, yeah, it might have some like restrictions here and there, but this is something that it was much needed. And I keep saying this over and over again, but it makes me so happy, and to the point that I might actually want to replay it again. And I have a lot of games coming out. I mean, it's a very busy October right now with games, but I might squeeze some Mario Wonder here and there, because just talking about it makes me really excited, and I hope it's making you excited as well. Oh, and I almost forgot the badge system. Like, how crazy that is, that it's not like, yes, people might say that, oh, we only got 2 powers. Not really. We have a lot of powers with us, and we can equip them as we please. And you know, we have from triple jumps, from the grapple vine, which is great and it's one of my favorites. A little tricky to use, but it was so crazy to see Mario with a grappling hook of sorts, and how this really, really enhanced the gaming experience. And you know, my favorite one's gonna be the spin jump, just because it's very useful in general. And I know that's one of the most popular ones. You get the one that you like jump in the rhythm, and every time you jump, every 3 steps will grant you coins, and you know, the permanent power-ups, and like the jet run badge, how you like can speed run with that thing. And you know, I've seen people and speed runs of people using that badge only for the entirety of the game, and it's crazy because sometimes you can get a little crazy with that badge. And you know, they really add to the gameplay experience and take it to another level. And you know, it's a whole thing, and how they really thought this through. And you know, like people may say, yeah, I didn't have so many powers. Yeah, you actually got a lot of powers. You just realized that they are in the shape of badges this time around. But anyway, just everything this game is great. And you know, this might be, and I might sound like I'm rambling a little bit, and it's just that everything starts coming back, and it takes me back to when I played this 1 year ago here with my husband. And it's one of the most memorable gaming experiences that I have in general, that I was happy to share with him, besides Mario Odyssey and like many games that we have played together. And even so, went back in the day by myself. It's wonderful. They nailed the name. This game is wonderful. It's wonderful from start to finish. And then if we're going to talk about the impact that this game had, and how, like I said, up to this day, I mean, the best example of this is the talking flower alone. And how I mentioned that at first you will see people on the reaction videos when the first trailer came out from this game were like, oh, talking flower, that's gonna annoy the heck out of me, I'm gonna deactivate it as soon as I can. And how people were relieved that later it was confirmed that there was an option to like mute them. But then you play the game and you start hearing their dialogues, and then you turn, I remember like I heard the dialogues and I turned them off, and then I started playing the game. It's like, this doesn't feel right. Like doesn't feel right at all. So I turned it back on again, and they ended up like sticking around for the entire playthrough. And I'm not the only one that did this. I heard like a lot of people that the talking flowers kind of make the as special as it is, because you have this guy talking to you like, what a wonderful day, or I wonder if you can get out there. Oh, there's this one that I like, that you pushed a pipe down. I don't remember the level, but you push the pipe down and they say, yeah, you can. You sure you're gonna drop there, aren't you? And then you drop down, and it turns out there's a secret section, and then the flower comes out to them and say, I told you. It's just hilarious, and how they really cheer for you, and especially on those like racing levels or the speedrun levels, how they start go, and how at the very end they're like, congratulations, or yay. Like, it sounds silly, yes, but it really made the game more entertaining. And I'm sure a lot of you will agree with this sentiment. Like, the talking flower ended up stealing a little bit of the show on the whole experience. And you know, there's gonna be a plushie releasing very soon. I really want to get it. I think it's a talking plushie. I think it's coming out in Japan first, but I'll keep an eye. And if you guys know if it's available in the US, please let me know, because I would love to get my hands on that. But it really made an impact, and how even up to this day, 1 year later, we're still quoting all these thoughts and reactions and emotions that were evoked from this game. And to the point that, oh man, I really wish Nintendo would care enough to do DLC. You do a DLC for this game, put 5 more worlds, and you don't have to release another 2D Mario game in 4 years from now. I'm sure people will be extremely happy if they just put a little bit more DLC of this game. Or I'll do you one better. Why don't you rework some of the old past levels from all Mario games into the Wonder style? And I'm sure it will be a home run, especially because this game has so many elements from previous ones, which, you know, by logic, but it has so many callbacks and Easter eggs and all that, that would be the cherry on top. But then a year has passed, And like I said, I'm sure you guys have my thoughts. And this is kind of like a reminiscent of my experience with the game, but a slash also a sort of review 1 year later, like where the game stands. And more importantly, what is next? I think it's hard to tell what is next for Mario because this game still feels so fresh and so great and beautiful and amazing of a game as it is. I feel like this is just the standpoint for like new Mario Wonders to come out. I feel like the Mario Wonder style is going to stick with us for a little bit. I don't think it's going to be as long of a wait that with the new Super Mario style. However, what they have here is a very nice formula. I would say if they ever do a Super Mario Maker 3 and this is not in that mix, it will be a crime. How they're gonna implement it, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it's gonna have a wonder effect, but then why would you call it wonder style without a wonder effect? But listen, we'll take what we get. As long as the levels look as nice and beautiful as they are on the Mario Maker setting, I'll be happy to see a Super Mario Maker 3 on the next console with the wonder style, and we will all be so happy. But where the series might go from here is just, like I said, it's hard to tell right now because we are getting introduced to this new art style and this new approach, and it's only a matter of just keep expanding upon. Like I said, they could release a DLC for this game. I don't think they're gonna do it, to be honest, but that would be absolutely fine. People are very happy and the reception is great, so why not expand upon that? And when in terms of like where this game stands with other 2D Mario games, listen, I'm gonna say that it's very high. I would say this is within the top 3 of 2D Mario games for me. Like right in between Mario 3 and Super Mario World. And even when I'm replaying Super Mario World lately, but again, I don't have the nostalgia factor because I didn't own a Super NES. But again, this is like a very nice mesh of all the best elements of all these games. And I do see a little bit of Mario 3 in this game too, in the overworld aspect. But I feel like this is it's very special. And I don't think I will get over this game or be tired of playing this game for a very, very long time, because the art style, the gameplay, the music, everything combines together for me to turn on this game 5 years, 10 years from now and play it and still make me smile and make me have this sense of comfort and happiness for a briefly period of time. I know that if I ever feel a little bit of it's not going great in the day, I can just pop in this game real quick and play a couple levels, and it's gonna give me a little bit of a coping. It's a coping game. Let's call it that way. If you want to feel a little bit better, if you had a rough day, put Super Mario Wonder. It might cure depression. Who knows? I mean, there's a study about Mario Odyssey helping with people that struggle with depression and anxiety. So I feel like Mario alone, it's a very good coping mechanism. So yeah, prescribe for your doctor, play some Mario. But anyway, I'd say it's one of my top 3 Mario games of all time, 2D Mario games of all time. Now, as the whole Mario franchise is definitely top 5. It's definitely top 5. Again, it's just the setting, how I played it, the nostalgia factor, the innovations, the modern aspects to it, the joyful, really brought this game up high, and it's something that I'm gonna remember. So I'm happy to give this game, its official review of Game and Chat, Daniel AK1 to Switcheroo, a 10 out of 10. And with that, we reach the end of today's episode, everybody. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope you guys had a great time reminiscing about Super Mario Bros. Wonder as I did. I hope I get you the itch to pick back up the controller and jump back into the Flower Kingdom and enjoy so wonderful bits and craziness that this game provides. And if you haven't played this game, I hope I convince you to pick it up and try it out. But you guys hear my opinion, you guys hear my review. Now I want to hear from you. Do you like the game? What are your thoughts? What are your favorite levels? What are things that you remember the most, and what are things that you think the game should work on? Are you a diehard New Super Mario Bros. Fan that thinks things should have changed and stayed the same for 10 more years? Absolutely, you can be. Just let me know in the comments on your favorite podcast platform, YouTube, Spotify, Instagram, whichever you use to listen to the podcast, and I'd be happy to read every single one of them. I want to say thank you, everybody. The podcast is kicking off, and it's like taking off very, very nice. I forgot to say that we are on Instagram, so if you guys want to follow me there and stay tuned for upcoming episodes and pictures and a little bit of the backside of the podcast making and the streaming making, you can find me on 12switcheroo on Instagram, same as X, Blue Sky. And of course, don't forget that we have the live experience on Twitch, twitch.tv/12switcheroo. We stream every week, so I hope you guys to see you there to play some Smash or play some Mario Maker, of whatever we feel to share with the world. There's a long week ahead of us, guys. We have Mario Party Jamboree coming out very soon. I'm very excited to get my hands on what it seems to be the biggest Mario Party yet, and it's about time that we get a good quality brand new Mario Party. So I'm very, very eager to make my husband play with me. He's not very fond of Mario Party, but I'm sure hopefully this one will make the change and convert me into a Mario Party aficionado. But I'm looking forward to play that, and not only by myself but also with you guys on stream. If you want to join me on Twitch for that, please let me know. We'll do a couple of Mario Party runs here and there. We also have Sonic plus Sonic Cross Shadow Generations coming out, and that's another one that I'm very looking forward to. And first week or second week of November, we have Mario and Luigi Brothership, which is looking really good on the previews, and it actually made me grab my 3DS and re-download Mario and Luigi Dream Team and play a little bit of it just to get back on that mindset of the Mario and Luigi franchise, and I'm very, very looking forward for that game in particular. We haven't had one since Paper Jam, and that was like almost 10 years, so it's about time that the Mario RPGs get the chance on their spotlight. But for everything else, everybody, thank you so much for listening. I really appreciate every single one of you. And please keep sharing the love and keep sharing the podcast with your fellow gamers, friends, family, etc. I'm really happy that everything is turning out so well. Let's keep the momentum going. Thank you so much. My name is Daniel, aka 12switcheroo, signing off. Game on.